Hey, welcome to another edition of Romance Ramblings, uncut and off the cuff musings. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's right. I'm already drinking with Ava Stone and
Jerrica, Knight-Catania.
And tonight we have a special guest with us.
Hello, everybody. It's Alanna Lucas. Oh, with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Glass of wine. Bailey's.
Cheers.
Cheers. So before we get started and asking questions, I want to make sure I get our graphic up so that everybody can see. Make sure that you see who we're talking to today. If you don't already know Alanna is awesome.
Oh, thank
She
you.
always makes me laugh.
It's awesome. Alanna, I think I know. What part of the country are you in?
I'm in California.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, so we haven't had dinner yet. You guys are like, in the after dinner I can drink and then, just go relax. And I've got dinner on the stove and told the kids at this time, this is what you have to do kind of mode. Yes.
We have an empty nest except for cats right now. So.
It's everyone's here all the time. So it's a little crazy. I used to homeschool my kids, so it's not that different with this whole being stuck at home.
Yeah.
But we used to go so fast. There were so many activities. My daughter's in college, my son's in high school, and then now it's like everyone's at home, but the dog is loving it.
I know. I think puppies all over the world are rejoicing.
Here's Lord Catsby.
Yes.
Oh.
You remember him. He bit your toes when you were here visiting me. Jerrica.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's you. He doesn't bite everyone's toes.
Hey, I'm special.
That's right.
Oh.
The other one is somewhere hiding because he's a chicken. But so in California, you've been on lockdown longer than we have.
Yeah, it was kind of a soft lockdown. They just said, please don't do this, please don't do that. Really kind of started a few weeks ago. The kids were still in school, and that's when kind of panic set in. I went to the grocery store one day, and it's like, where is everything? Things were flying off the shelves, and I'm like, wait, I've got teenagers at home. I need food for them. It's not just, you need a certain amount of stuff. So I drove around.
At a certain age, all you need is this.
Yeah.
Sequester yourself.
Yeah, it may be wrong that I would serve two minors, that much alcohol.
You
There's
are
nights
not
when we need it.
enough, Alanna. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have been, and then, so 2 weeks ago, they actually shut the schools down. Yeah. And it was kind of chaotic because it's like, okay, go home, but you have no work. My kids were just like, okay, well, we'll just get ahead. We'll just figure this out. My the college was a little bit more on the ball because she was in a hybrid class, so they can kind of continue on with that.
Okay.
But my son, they just said, okay, go home. We've got to figure out this whole how to homeschool you guys. And so he just continued to study and work. I should preface all of this by saying his goal is Air Force Academy. So he knows no slowing down. So everything has been track and field, Civil Air Patrol, Air Force Junior ROTC. We've just been going. So he doesn't want to cut back on anything. So through all of this, I'm looking at, I have my office is now part of his because he needed a more quiet space. So I'm looking over at his desk. He's got charts. He's got checklists. He's got all these things that he's created in the last 2 weeks to keep him on track. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a little intense.
I need somebody to keep me on track.
I know, me too. Can you make our schedules?
I would. Trust me.
That's the
I would do that.
We do it for each other, but we won't make each other do it. We'll say, this is what we should do, and then we would,
Right.
That's the teacher in me. Because, I used to homeschool, but prior to homeschooling, I actually taught in high school. So lesson planning, keeping things on track, moving them. My daughter's like, stop pestering me.
My son's like that every day. It doesn't have to be like a pandemic. It's just, you can, as I call him, I'm like, hey, sweetheart, what? It's so nice to talk to you too.
So nice.
Just wait. Your day's coming. So
Oh,
I was looking at your website because I've known you for a while, but like I was trying to figure out something, that I could ask you about, trying to do my research because I'm not doing anything else. And I like that one of the 7 things about you is that you say you've been to all 50 states.
Yes.
So
That's
in
really
this epic era of pandemic, I'm going to put you totally on the spot.
Okay.
Don't think about readers from those states, but we've got 50. If we have to let one of them go, which is the one? If we're going to go down to 49, which state are we going to knock out of the country?
No offense to anyone in Oklahoma. It's going to be Oklahoma. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sorry. It just,
Middle of the country. Everything.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh
There just
my
wasn't a
God.
whole lot happening while I was there. It was just so empty and just not a lot to look at when we were going through. So
Okay. No offense to
no
anybody.
offense to anyone in that state. Please.
So, Alanna, when you say you've been to all 50, like, is that including driving through, or is that like you've stopped and done something in each of those states?
We have tried to do something in each of those states. I'm trying to think if there was any of them that we just kind of drove through quickly. There was the only one that I'm like, I've got to get out of this place was when we were in Taos, New Mexico.
Uh-huh.
I was so looking forward to going, and we drove. When you go into Taos one way, there's a huge gorge, and you drive over this really cool bridge, and I was really looking forward to it. I was driving, and the second I got on the bridge, I'm like, you've got to get me off of this thing. It had nothing to do with the heights or anything else. It was a serious case of heebie-jeebies. I mean, and I'm like, that's it. We were supposed to spend 3 days in Taos. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. We didn't even last the night. I think we had the kids up. They were really little at the time. By like 5 a.m, I'm like, shaking my, we've got to leave. We've got to leave now. I can't take it.
Wow.
I did not like that town. It just, there was something about it that really freaked me out. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't relax. And
Have you done any research on it? Like, is
that
it
bridge,
their burial ground? Like, is anything?
well, that
creepy?
bridge it's a suicide bridge. And so there are a lot of deaths. So I don't know. I didn't know that beforehand, but
It's been so great talking to you today, Alanna. Thanks for coming.
I know.
Real upper in the pandemic, I gotta say.
Yeah.
If you've had enough of the pandemic, Alanna knows a suicide bridge. Ping her. She can give you the
Yeah, really. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jer, by the way, thanks for dressing up for everybody tonight. I really appreciate the green towel.
But she's clean. That's what counts.
I am
Yes.
clean. I was
We
so
can't
gross.
smell her. It
We
doesn't
did-
matter to us. But, we're
no,
looking
but
at
I
green
looked
hair.
gross. It was yesterday's makeup. We had been to the pool, bike rides, all kinds of stuff. So
I've been right here.
I had.
Actually, I've been running a virtual board meeting today, and it continues through tomorrow. So I am like, I'm brain dead.
Oh wow.
So most of that liquor is going to be gone by tomorrow evening.
You
see in the
think that
background
there's a
because-
lot in those bottles. There's a whole lot in there. I got a ways. We were afraid, actually. When I say that, our ABC store, because we live in the Bible Belt, so you can't have alcohol in the grocery stores or someplace else. It has to be for ABC is alcohol beverage control. So Deb Marlowe, she'll talk about her son going, "Oh, it's the alphabet store," and she's like, "Yeah, you can't go in there." I know it says ABC, but they were putting restrictions on the time, and I'm like, they can't close that store during this. Like, people are stuck with their families. They have got to have a way to deal.
Right.
Well, we can get liquor in Walmart. We can get liquor in Target, the markets. I went to Walmart today, and there's a BevMo, which is all alcohol, but they have limited hours just because they're trying to keep the rush down. And if there's so many people, then you have to wait outside type of thing. But that was one thing in all my travels and everything, heading on over to where you guys are, it's like, I can't buy liquor at what time in what store. I'm like, this is really, because in California, it's kind of a free for all. Wherever you go, you can buy liquor.
Right.
Yeah.
I grew up in Georgia and, you know, left before I turned 21 to move to New York. And so every time I would go back to visit family and we'd go try to, you know, buy some beer or wine or something on a Sunday, I would be like, what? This is so weird. Now we have to go to a bar.
And they're like, you grew up here. How do you not know that?
I know, but I wasn't a drinker when I lived there.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of drinking, this is a whole off. It's only kind of, it'll only make sense in my brain, and I cannot tell you why. This is the segue. You have family in the Netherlands, right?
I do, and in Italy.
What's going on over there?
My cousins in Rome, that's been the hardest. We have the WhatsApp app, and so we text often. And they're a little bit older, and so their quarantine's been very, very intense. My one cousin has got some health issues, so she does not go out at all. Wow. So my other cousin, he does all the marketing and does everything, and when they go out, they can't leave their little area they're in Rome, but they're kind of on the outskirts of like the historic area, and they cannot leave. And when he does leave, he has to have a declaration stating where is he going to go, what is he purchasing, and there's pretty much 3 shops that they can go to. They can go to the bakery, they can go to the newspaper stand, and the pharmacy, and that's it. So they're really just tight there. Yeah. In Holland, it's been not as bad. They're still on lockdown. That, you know, it's a little bit more relaxed. People still go for a little bit, you know, more of the walks and all that. My cousins kind of knew what to expect because they saw what was going on over here, and we're texting on a daily basis and everything. I'm like, well, stock up now on toilet paper, and so they were like, you know, like, okay, because they have little kids. You know, they have, my one cousin, she has a 4-year-old and an almost 1-year-old. My other one, her son's going to be 3 this weekend. So she's devastated because this is actually his first birthday without his Opa. And so she wanted to have a big party and all of that, and you can't have any of that. So all the different relatives, we've been sending stuff, and so thankfully the mail still works. So he got all my little packages and everything. That's good. And we'll get to open it, but they've all been home. It started last week that they've been home, and they've been able to go for walks. It's not nearly the panic and rush that it is here. Yeah. And I just feel that in general, you know, Europeans have been through a lot. It's kind of like ingrained, okay, well, this is what we're doing. It just doesn't have the same panic. They don't seem to freak out as much.
Well, see, the Germans, I saw that their rule is they're banning gatherings of more than 2 people.
Oh my God.
What do you do if you have like lots of kids?
I don't know. I guess you pick which ones you love the most, and the rest have to go outside.
Okay.
It's a whole different version of Sophie's Choice.
Yeah. Wow.
Not to take it dark and go to World Tour. Anyway. Back on topic.
Alanna, I have a question. Is writing your full-time gig?
My kids are my full-time gig right now. Last year when my son decided that he wanted to pursue the Air Force Academy, I started to kind of spread out my deadlines a little bit more because it's a very intense process. And normally writing is my full-time job, but I knew that I was going to be volunteering for all sorts of different things. So when he joined Civil Air Patrol, I also joined as a senior member, which I should preface this by saying years and years and years ago, I was actually a member of Civil Air Patrol. I wanted to go into the Air Force, but I sprained my ankle, and that kind of changed all of that. So it's actually been really fun to go through this process with him. But it means that I volunteer for a lot of different stuff. And it's a very intense process. So right now I say, okay, he's kind of my full-time job, just trying to keep him on track and everything, make sure he's getting to track and field and all of that. And then I always have, I always have a journal. This one is Avengers, but I always have a story journal with me. So I take it wherever I go. Whenever I think of a scene, I write things down. So I'm always working on something, even when traveling with him.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say it, but we're actually out of time.
Oh, that was fun. Not too morbid, a little bit.
So to the people in all the states except Oklahoma.
They can redeem themselves. I'll give them another chance.
But it has been great talking to you. And
thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining
Thanks for
us.
being here with us.